Hi everyone, I hope you've all had a wonderful week. In this week's report, we'll see if Lake Yucumeen is still falling. We'll say happy birthday to one of the group's oldest members. We'll see whether fish are biting. Pete visited Providence Portal during the week. Wait till you see his amazing drone footage. There's the weather, visitor pics, pick of the week, and this week's fishing meme. Here's the report for the week ending the 13th of July, 2025. Taking a look at the lake levels, and for the first time in months, I can say all three mountain waterways rose this week. Lake Yucumeen up 0.2%, Lake Jindabyne 0.9%, and Tantangra Dam a whopping 4%. Tantangra Dam has now risen almost 10% in just the last 3 weeks. Let's hope for more rises next week. Just before we see where the fish were biting this week, Lee posted this wonderful pic to the Lake Yucumeen Facebook group recently. It's a picture of her father-in-law, Fritz. Lee saying Fritz had a family van at Anglers Reach Caravan Park for many, many years, but sadly had to sell a couple of years ago. Fritz turns 91 on Wednesday, the 16th of July, and still takes a keen interest in what's going on up at the lake. Lee adding Fritz really enjoys watching these weekly reports. Thanks for such a lovely post, Lee, and from you, me, and the entire Lake Yucumeen Facebook family, a very happy 91st birthday for Wednesday, Fritz. The fishing continues to be fairly quiet at the moment, as we're right in the middle of winter now, but those who did venture out caught some great fish. Andrew, Ollie, Marcus, Chico, Jarmo, Mika, and boys Zaxon and Jesse had a wonderful week up at Lake Yucumeen. Great to see you all wearing your Lambswool Lake Yucumeen beanies, guys, and thanks for letting me know they were super warm, Zach. The group staying at Anglers Reach Caravan Park and fished from the bank. What a beautiful sunset, Zach, and I fished that spot myself plenty of times. Not as successfully as you, mind you. The group keeping warm during the freezing nights. I can literally feel the warmth of that fireplace from here, Zach. Zach also posting this great shot of the stars during the crystal clear evenings. In total, the group landed 23 fish for the week, all on power baits, with Chico taking the biggest fish trophy for his 64 centimetre catch. The other prize going to Andy with his 4 fish measuring a combined 152 centimetres. And a fun fact, if you lined up end to end the 23 fish caught by the group, they would stretch 9.06 metres. I'm glad you all had such a fun and successful trip, Zach, and thanks for sharing your adventures with us. 10-year-old Sam caught the trout of a lifetime on Saturday up at Anglers Reach. The trout, a whopping 73 centimetres long, was caught on an old Tassie devil Sam found lying around the bank. Even more amazingly, Sam caught the trout from his uncle's canoe close to shore, his uncle only taking Sam out for a bit of fun. What an awesome catch, Sam. There are so many people watching this video, including me, that are much older than 10 and haven't caught anything nearly as big. If you get Mum to message me your address on Facebook Messenger, I'll send you out a Lake Yucumeen cap or beanie. Jeff and his mate had a great time last week, fishing from the shoreline near the dam wall and trolling. Jeff wanted to say a big thank you to the Lake Yucumeen Facebook group for all the tips and tricks he'd received. As a result, Jeff caught his first ever trout, and great to hear the group helped you out, Jeff. We're all here to share and learn. The boys looking to catch a 50 plus centimetre fish, but fell just short with this lovely 47 centimetre brown. In all, they caught 4 fish and quickly turned them into a hearty meal. Yum. Thanks for sharing your adventure with the group, Jeff, and you need to get back up soon to catch that 50 centimetre trout. Nate was back up at his favourite lake this week and spent a very productive Friday morning around Buckandera. Nate flatlined in 8 to 12 feet of water with light-coloured lures. As always, it wasn't long before Nate found the fish, including this lovely brown. Despite the day ending a little earlier than planned due to the increasingly choppy conditions, Nate caught a nice haul of fresh trout. Thanks for sharing with the group, mate. Paul was back up at Anglers Reach last weekend and caught these beauties off the bank with worms. Nice catches, Paul, and good to see the old traditional baits are still catching great fish. Norma was up at Yucumeen during the week and landed this lovely rainbow on worms at Old Adaminaby. Norma adding Lake Yucumeen is one of her favourite places, and I definitely agree with you there. Thanks for sharing with the Lake Yucumeen Facebook group, Norma, and I hope you get back to the lake really soon. Brock and mates caught these lovely browns last Sunday on the Troll. Brock adding they lost a few more at the boat and had lots of hits. Sound like a very productive outing, Brock. Thanks for sharing with the group. Wayne spent a very cold and at times snowy Thursday up at the lake. Wayne saying the conditions were horrendous, but his tip for fishing you can be in winter? Rug up, find a spot behind a rock, attach bells, and wait. Despite braving the elements and using worms and power bait, Wayne didn't catch a fish this time. Well, I think you deserve a medal just for sticking at it, Wayne. Tiny spent a few hours on a cold and breezy Friday afternoon fishing at one of his favourite spots. Tiny lives just 400 metres from the water and pops down to wetter line as often as he can. Thanks for sharing the pic, Tiny, and tight lines, mate. Tiny mentioned to me that his Serenity cabin at Anglers Reach is going gangbusters with bookings and he only has 9 free nights left for August. If you're planning a trip to Anglers Reach, I'd highly recommend you staying at Serenity Cabin. Contact Tiny Egan on Facebook Messenger if you want to book. You won't be disappointed. Quinton took his boat out for a spin last Sunday around Anglers Reach. Quinton adding it was some of the glaciest water Yukonbean could muster. The water temperature was 7 degrees. Quinton decided to park the boat in what's left of Illawong Bay and take these pics. We're glad you did, Quinton. Thanks for sharing. John posted another wonderful nostalgic photo from his amazing collection. This one shows John standing next to a well-crafted clinker boat on the opening day of the 1962 trout season, the 1st of September. As John told us in a previous post, back then, not only were the rivers closed for the annual spawning run, the lakes were too. This meant anglers were always lining up, waiting for the first day of September to hit the water again. Thanks for another fabulous memory, John, and please keep them coming, mate. We saw the start of Tony's latest batch of his 55mm Mandaguri minnows in last week's report. Tony posted this update during the week, and as you can see, they were really starting to take shape. Tony sent a further update on Friday. Look at the finished product. They look amazing, Tony. Well done, mate, and I'm sure you'll get lots of new customers now. Also experimenting making lures recently is Wayne. Wayne creating his very lifelike prototype of a Snowy Mountains yabby. Great job, Wayne, and please don't forget to let us know how it goes when you take it for its first swim. And finally, Jim has also been very busy creating magic. Jim making this booby mud-eye, adding they are very useful for fish feeding in the depths on bright days. Jim's tip, use a sinking line, a 3-foot leader, and hang on. Thanks for sharing with us, Jim. I get a lot of people asking me what Providence Portal looks like now Lake Yukonbean is so low. Well, it just so happens my good old mate Pete Wilson took a trip to Providence Portal during the week and took some great drone footage. For visual reference, the portal tunnel from Tantangara Dam to Yukonbean comes out just here, with the water then flowing into the Yukonbean River. The tunnel is 16.6 kilometres or 10.3 miles long, and to see the dramatic effect of the falling water at Providence, take a look at Pete's amazing drone video. We hit midwinter next week, but the weather at Yukonbean will be unseasonably mild, days ranging from 12 degrees to a cooler 9 degrees on Tuesday. At this stage, little to no rainfall is in the forecast. Thanks to everyone who's posted pics, stories and reports to the Lake Yukonbean Facebook group this week. Stuart posted this photo of his wonderful dad, also Stuart, posing proudly with his first ever fish at Providence Portal back in the 1990s. Unfortunately, Stuart lost his dad in February this year, but trips back to Yukonbean to stay in their cabin at Braemar Bay is a reminder of the great times they shared fishing together. I'm really sorry for your loss, Stuart, but I know the memories you and your dad shared will last forever. We also received some sad news this week from Peter Greener. Peter's mum, Margaret, who many watching this video will remember from her days at Frying Pan, passed away on the 5th of July. Margaret was 96 and loved being in the mountains and fishing at her favourite lake. Condolences to you and the family, Peter, and rest in peace, Margaret. Michael was experimenting with his 3D printer recently and created this pretty awesome rainbow trout model. Michael adding he needed to work on his painting skills, but me and many others commenting on the pic thought it was a better paint job than we've seen at the big trout in Adaminaby in past years. Top effort, Michael. Linda added this pic to Michael's post. It's a model replica of her personal best trout she caught in the Tumut River. It was made by a hubby, by hand, from balsa wood. Your hubby's definitely more talented than me, Linda. It's a beauty. Gary posted some wonderful photos he took while up at the lake a couple of years ago. They were all taken from the peninsula near Old Adaminaby, like this one. This one shows a complete rainbow over the lake. Did you find the pot of gold at the end, Gary? Gary also posted this great pic of him taken in the mid-80s. Gary was fishing between Rushies and Middling Bank just after sunset. Gary recalls the lake was rising when he caught this beauty with a weighted Mrs. Simpson. Gary adding the fish were in the shallows, feasting on tadpoles and frogs. Adam used to come up to Yucumeen as a kid for family fishing trips in the summer. Adam hasn't been back for 35 years, but took a quick trip to Braemar Bay. Adam posted this pic of him holding a couple of nice browns he caught back in the late 80s, also at Braemar Bay. Hope you enjoyed your trip back, Adam, and I hope you don't wait another 35 years before you come back. The snow returned to Lake Yucumeen on Wednesday, and David was there to enjoy it. I'm not sure if David swapped the skis for a fishing rod, but he took a couple of great photos, including this one. And this one. David was up at Buckenderra on the very brisk and snowy morning. Great pics, David, and thanks for sharing with us. Damien took a trip to nearby Lake Jindabyne last weekend. The weather absolutely glorious, and Damien was keen to share these beautiful pics with us. For the record, Lake Jindabyne was created in 1967 with the completion of the Jindabyne Dam as part of the Snowy Mountains scheme. The original town of Jindabyne was settled in the 1840s and was a picturesque village on the banks of the Snowy River. Old Jindabyne was flooded to make way for the lake. Lake Jindabyne is 915 metres above sea level, 115 metres higher than Cooma, but 265 metres lower than Lake Yucumeen. Thanks for the great pics, Damien. For pick of the week, I've gone with this stunning sunrise photo taken at the peninsula near Old Adaminaby. The photo taken by Gary. What an absolutely beautiful photo, Gary, and thanks for sharing with us. If you think you've taken a photo as nice as Gary's, post it to the Lake Yucumeen Facebook group and you might just see it here in a future report. This week's fishing meme was posted by Anthony. How do you like my secret fishing spot? It's really cool, not even the fish know about it. Oh well, I have many secret fishing spots then. Thanks for sharing, Anthony. Well, that's the report for this week. I hope you found it useful. As always, I'm happy to take on any feedback or suggestions. And don't forget, if you're looking for more information on Lake Yucumeen, check out the social media channels. There's the website, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll be sent messages as soon as I post new content. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe, stay warm, and tight lines. Bye for now.